About his racially charged statements in the past, Lepage said this.
Bad guy's a bad guy. I don't care what color it is. When you go to war, if you know the enemy dresses in red and you dress in blue, you shoot at red. You shoot at the enemy. You try to identify the enemy. And the enemy right now, the overwhelming majority of people coming in are people of color or people of Hispanic origin. I can't help it.
Joining me now, the recipient of that original voicemail, Representative Drew Gattine, who's called for Governor Lepage's resignation. Representative, what is going on up there with your governor?
Well, that's a really great question. We ask ourselves that question every day, Chris. This has been going on for 6 years with Governor Lepage, as I'm sure you know. This is just one in a long list of controversies. But the problem is they just tend to keep getting worse and worse and worse, and the governor's behavior just becomes more erratic and more bizarre, and really is calling into question now whether he's really fit and capable of continuing to serve as governor. As these incidents occur, it becomes pretty clear to a lot of us that we have, the problems that Maine needs to fix with respect to the heroin crisis and other issues are very serious. And it's really called into question whether he's actually able to lead and to help us solve those problems.
Are there discussions among Republicans along those lines? I know you've called for his resignation in the past. Others have as well. They've called for censure. They've called for other things. But are there folks on the other side of the aisle who feel that way?
Well, it appears that maybe there are. There are discussions, I think, going on right now as we speak over the last couple of days. That's what feels very different about the incident and the events of the last few days. More and more people, Republicans on the other side of the aisle, faith-based people, the faith-based community in Maine, people who are professional therapists who are observing the governor's behavior. People are really looking at the behavior of this governor and becoming very, very concerned that this behavior has just gone to the point where, something is going on here, and this governor really should not continue to be the governor of Maine.
The context here is that the state does have an intense opioid problem, and it seems to me the governor has decided that the fault for that lies with essentially Black and Latino people from outside Maine. Is that basically the story that he's telling Mainers?
Right. Well, I think that's the problem. We have a very, very serious problem here. We had a record-setting 2015 in terms of heroin deaths, and we're on record to have an even worse year in 2016. And there are a lot of parts to the solution. Prevention, education, obviously the law enforcement piece is important.
Looks like we lost Representative Gattine from that satellite feed there. Thank you, sir, for your time in absentia. Up next, Clinton aide Huma Abedin announces her separation